Do you want to get started in the Abyss and you are looking for some fits? In this video I show you some fits to get started in the Abyss. The first part shows fittings that are usable by alpha clones and very new players, which are suitable for T0 Abyssals. The second part shows a little bit more advanced fits, which can do T1 Abyssals. Maybe before we gonna look at the fits, we should also talk about why doing Frigate Abyssals is better than Cruiser Abyssals, especially at low tiers. The thing is, Frigate Abyssals pay out 3 times as much as Cruiser Abyssals, and when you look at the DPS numbers of the ships and the application, then you will see that you can complete Frigate Abyssals in around the same time as Cruiser Abyssals, especially for low tiers. So it is definitely a good idea to do Frigate Abyssals at low tiers, because you get more payout compared to Cruiser Abyssals. And frigates are also often cheaper than cruisers. The first fit I'm going to show you is the Punisher for T0 Electrical Abyssals. If you can fit this Punisher and get at least 90 DPS, you should have no troubles in clearing T0 Electricals. High slots are beam lasers, mid slots are AB and web, and low slots is tank and DPS modules, and rigs are all armor tank rigs. The next fit is a Kestrel for T0 Dark Abyssals. It might be not that easy to reach the 90 DPS minimum if you don't have good skills, but you can use faction ammunition to get around 50% more DPS. High slots are rocket launchers, medium slots is shield booster, AB and 2 small cap batteries, low slots are 2 ballistic control system, and rigs are tank and a payloading accelerator. You can also fit a Tech 2 one if you have the ISK and skills for it. As said, you need at least 90 DPS if you want to do T0 Abyssals consistently. If you do not have 90 DPS, then you will not be able to break the Skybreaker NPC's tank. The next fit we're gonna look at, and which is also great to get started in the Abyss, is the Imperial Navy Slicer. It has a lot of DPS even though it only uses Meta 4 turrets, and therefore it can clear T0 Electrical Abyssals very fast. Mids are MWD and battery, low slots is mostly DPS, a coating and a small armor repair. For the rigs we have range rigs and a capacitor control circuit, which helps with cap stability if you do not have good capacitor skills yet. The Slicer can also be seen a little bit as an upgrade from the Punisher for T0 Electricals, and with the Slicer you can clear T0 in around 3 minutes mostly, and therefore make like up to 30 million ISK per hour with this fit. Now we have looked at 3 fits for new players to get started in T0 Electricals. Now we're gonna look at a little bit more advanced fittings that require more skills and Omega clone status, but those fits are able to do T1s and therefore can earn much more ISK per hour compared to the T0 fits. The first fit is a Retribution for T1 Electricals. There are 2 variants for this fit. One with beam lasers that you see here, and one with pulse lasers. With beam lasers you can do damage much earlier than with pulse lasers. With Aurora you get like 43 kilometers optimal range. And if you use Frantics, then you can even get up to 48 kilometers, which is already very close to your maximum targeting range of this fit. And we still have okay DPS at that long range. High slots are as said beam lasers, mediums is a cap recharger MWD, in the lows we have 3 damage modules, a coating and a small armor repair, and the low slots are the exact same as the slicer that I showed before. And in the rigs we have a burst aerator and an EM reinforce, which compensates a little bit the EM resistance penalty that you get in the Abyss. And as I said before, the exact same fit also works with pulse. In that case we just swap the beam lasers for pulse, and if you load conflagration you get around 90 DPS more than beam laser with multi-frequency. And with Scorch we get 293, but therefore we only have 17 kilometers optimal range now. Actually, between pulse and beam lasers, there's like the trade-off. With beam lasers you can start doing damage earlier and have more range, and with pulse lasers you get much more DPS at very close range. This helps speeding up killing battleships like Deepwater, Scarran and Overmind, but there's a delay between entering the room and where you can start doing damage, because you first need to get in range of the rats to do damage. But both variants are decent and both make around 60 million per hour, as they can clear a T1 electrical between 3 and 4 minutes in most of the time. The next fit is a worm for T1 Gamma Abyssals. It is like the little brother of the passive shield tanked Gila that I use in T6 Gamma. It has light missile launchers in the high slots, a thermal and EM amplifier plus a shield extender in the mid slots, together with AB and drone damage in the low slots. Rigs are all field purger rigs to get more shield HP per second. And in Gamma Abyss that increases shield HP you get even more tank. When you look at clear time, it is not the best compared to the other because DPS is much lower, but it is very easy to fly because in most rooms you can just hit approach on the biocasts and let the drones do the work. However, this fit actually requires a 2% power grid implant because otherwise it won't fit. Here you see the fit again, and for that fit I have made a separate tutorial which I link in the description. And another solid fit to get started in the Abyss is this Hawk, which can do T1 Exotic and Dark Abyssals. With rockets and rage ammo you get very good DPS, and the tank is also not bad. In the high slots we have rocket launchers, medium slots is shield booster, AB, battery, multi-spectrum and EM amplifier, which helps for the tank against Angel and Sansharo, which do a lot of EM damage, and the Hawk doesn't have good EM resistance without this. Low slots are ballistic control systems, and in the rigs we have another EM shield reinforcer and a payloading accelerator to get more DPS. And with that fit you can do either dark or exotic, but clear times tend to be better in exotic because they get a penalty to kinetic resistance, and the Hawk has a bonus to kinetic damage, which means that they can clear the exotic faster than darks. And in dark some rooms with battleships can actually eat up a lot of time, like Deepwatchers or the Overmind and Karen. And that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. In the description you find links to my Discord, Twitch and forum posts about the arena. And let me know in the comments what you think about these fittings, or if you have tried some of them out, or if you know more fittings to get started in the Abyss. Thanks and see you next time.